Line. Aloha! Welcome to the BG Reynolds Tiki Bar live. And now I'm going to start up Instagram and see if I can do that for them too. They're very instant. Whoa. Checking connection. You are now live. Excellent. All right. Hello, Instagrams. I'm going to put you in your little tiki mug there while we chit-chat on the internets about tiki bars, tiki drinks, tropical cocktails. Whatever this is, some sort of, well, I've determined it's nearly inedible. I don't think I'd go for it, but make a stylish fashion accessory. Anyway, welcome to BG Reynolds Tiki Bar, live from the BG Reynolds Tiki Bar. Well, it's really my basement home bar, so I'm glad to have you here and welcome to it. Tonight, I'm going to be talking a little bit about iron tiki tender. I am planning on putting together some T-ponge, and you have to say it as silly as you possibly can. T-ponge. Where I picked that up was, Tales of the Cocktail about 2009 or so. After about 10 of them, it just starts to get funnier and funnier the more you try it. I was thinking of putting together a banana daiquiri, which was a question that was posed in the BG Reynolds bar group earlier this week as well. So we'll see if I can get a recipe up while I've got all of my computery devices going together. As well, I wanted to talk a little bit about tiki mugs and just the fun, what fun they are, and maybe show off a few of the more prized ones from my collection. So, welcome to the BG Reynolds Tiki Bar. Let's get rolling. So, first thing I want to talk, and I see Barman Felix over there on Instagram. Yeah, I'm watching you. Felix was once a contestant on Iron Tiki Tender. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is Iron Tiki Tender and how can I get involved? Iron Tiki Tender is a contest, a bartending contest that was developed about 2012 as part of TikiCon weekend. TikiCon is an event, a tiki gathering of drinks and music, and it's freaking awesome. It's a 3-day event. TikiCon is a 3-day event with music and going out to all the bars, and then it features what's particularly popular is a Sunday home bar tour. Well, in 2012, they asked me to put on Iron Tiki Tender, which at first was just a little competition taking place. Nobody knew about it. There was no prize. We just kind of named the Iron Tiki Tender after making a few cocktails. So it was just done in a back room, if I recall, just a little sunken bar. Then it came to the back room. It went to the backside of Trader Vic's here in Portland. From there, it went on to, in 2014 and 2015, the main stage of TikiCon. 2014 was a little bit of a tough year because we had dinner going on concurrently, and I was trying to tell the organizers, this is not Iron Tiki Tender isn't like a sideshow. It's a thing. It should really be like its own thing, a stage, a big event. And they agreed. So 2014, they tried putting a live band behind us, and there was a buffet line, so people weren't coming in. It was just kind of a mess. 2015, finally, we got everything going just perfectly. It was on a stage, big competition. I had 3 people, some flew in, some drove in. And we have 3 rounds. It's one of my favorite rounds. How many Mai Tais can you make? Which show is designed to develop the bartender's speed. I think, in 10 minutes, one of the bartenders made almost 50 Mai Tais. It's crazy. They were also judged for quality. So, speed matters, quality matters as well. There is also this one is my absolute favorite, the Garish Garnish competition, to see how big, how bold, how flaming these bartenders could make their drinks. And we had some fantastic entries. Really, really, really cool stuff. Then there was in fact, you'll see Barman Felix on the cover of Iron Tiki Tender. He's making this big flaming garnish out of a turtle bowl, and it's just the perfect image. And me in the background like this. Ah! I host Iron Tiki Tender. It's fun. And from there, we do the Iron Tiki Tender Black Box round. And that's where we offer a mystery ingredient for the bartenders to use all their creative skills to mix together and make something awesome for the judges. So Iron Tiki Tender is coming up in 2018. 2018 is coming up. It's July 14th. We are going to be featuring a bigger show than ever this year with a lot more seating. We are going to have, in the past, we've done a host, myself, the 3 contestants, and a panel of judges. This year, I'm actually going to add a few things into the mix. There's going to be some commentators, some live commentators that keeps me from having to fill the room with air, or fill the air with words. Because as you can see, sometimes it's hard for me to keep rolling and going on this. I am also going to bring in, if she'll agree to it, one of my favorite burlesque performers from here in Portland to be our round person. Round person? That doesn't sound right. But to be the round girl, I guess it feels sexist. It's the International Women's Day. Shouldn't I be very gentlemanly? No. But she's going to be helping out and kind of keeping things progressing and rolling along. Very, very thrilled for this year's show. Now, I have been sneakily and fairly quietly putting up little bits and pieces on the Iron Tiki Tender website. If you go there, and this is just between me and you, the entry form is already up. So if you're interested in becoming a contestant for Iron Tiki Tender 2018, one of the finalists, fly into Portland to put on a show on stage, go to irontikitender.com/entry. And that is the last I'm going to say of that until the official announcement next week. So, Iron Tiki Tender is up. If you are not interested in contending, but you are interested in viewing, this year I actually... Ring Girl, thank you, Jonathan. This year I am offering what's called the Club 151 membership. Iron Tiki Tender Club 151 is kind of a combination of a few things that people have asked of me. They want to taste the competitors' drinks. They want front row seat to the competition. They want to see Iron Tiki Tender swag, and we have got some great stuff that we're offering with the Club 151 membership. You do have to have Saturday night passes for TikiCon to be a Club 151 member. But if you do join Club 151, and we do have everything going on pre-sale now, so everything's at a slight discount. You'll get a hoodie, a unique print from Brian Reckenmacher, of which we're doing a limited edition, only 100. Really looking forward to seeing how that ends up. Other swag, gift bags. You'll get an exclusive night in the Iron Tiki Tender Club 151 suite, where the Iron Tiki Tenders will be there, tending bar, to answer your questions, take pictures with them, sign things, whatever you would like to do. Well, not whatever. Whatever 2 adults consensually, 3 bartenders and 50 VIPs consensual do. Anyway, the Club 151 is... The reason I put that out there is because, number one, I wanted to be able to offer more to the Iron Tiki Tender show. Number two, and this is just a business honesty, I have paid out of pocket for entirely myself for 2014, 2015 shows. These shows can, for all the free booze that we give out at the suite, for the stage rental, for the equipment rental, for flying bartenders in, it can cost me upwards of $10,000, and I just need a little bit of help with that. Sponsors are always great for product, always great for help wherever they can, but just like when people ask me for sponsorship, cash is not always a part of the offer. I can always offer product, and I'm always willing to offer product, but cash is that's. I run a cash flow based business, so if I don't have that, I don't have inventory, I don't have payroll. So that's why cash is always so tightly held on to. But by offering some great takeaways from the experience and much more exclusive experiences as part of it, I'm hoping to be able to defray the costs of Iron Tiki Tender, put on a good show, and make my mortgage that month. So, for anybody who's put on an event, and I know Jonathan just put on Hele, these are not massive money-making schemes. Not even schemes, not even blatantly massive money-making. The Tiki world can be, it's surprisingly small, but we're going to have actually a panel on that during Iron Tiki Tender Tiki Con about starting your own Tiki small business. That's actually going to be another part of all the fun that I'm putting together for Iron Tiki Tender and Tiki Con is the symposiums. So far, we've got Brandon Clayla coming back. He is going to be doing a deeper dive on Disney's bars. We are working on getting Jonathan Chafin's going to be here, and hopefully Tiki Tony might be here to talk about running a small your Tiki focused small business. I will be contributing to that as well. We've also got the lively Jason Smith coming out to talk about. I'm not sure how this is going to roll out, but flipping Tiki stuff. He runs a message board called the Thrifting Board, a Facebook group here on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, you're not on Facebook right now. He runs the Thrifting Board, which has about 38,000 members, but it's crazy the amount of stuff that goes through there. And a lot of it's about eBay and the various policies and such. But what Jason taught me really made me think about how to make the most out of your thrifting trips. Don't just go there to stock up on find your Tiki mugs and leave. You can always pick up a few CDs or other small items and make a little bit of scratch for your Tiki mug collection by selling on eBay. So I'm really have a high hope for that panel. I think it'll be really fun. So that's part of all that's being planned out for TikiCon. I'm also going to be releasing some new syrups for TikiCon, pending everything goes well, and labels included. I had a bad experience last year where my hazelnut syrup, which is amazing, not to toot my own horn, toot, but the hazelnut syrup is fantastic, but unfortunately there was a labeling issue, and it just didn't make it in time for the proper holiday release. So that's me talking about Iron Tiki Tender. If you want more information, there's an Iron Tiki Tender Facebook page. There's an Iron Tiki Tender website. We're on Instagram now, at Iron Tiki Tender. We're on Twitter, and I don't know why, because we haven't figured out Twitter yet. I guess. Does anybody have a good pointers for what you do on Twitter? Because it doesn't seem like I don't know, David Wondrich is always on it, and there's smart quips flying about here and there. But I just don't get it for myself. Anyway, let's move on to drinking, shall we? Or did I an hour ago? We'll see. That'd be a fun show. So while scrounging for sponsors for Iron Tiki Tender, I happened to talk with my buddy Richard. And he represents a few phenomenal brands, including Clement, Rum Jam, Chairman's Reserve. And I asked him about, putting out some product for Iron Tiki Tender, and he did me one better. Offered me not only product for Iron Tiki Tender, but a little bit for the home bar here. So this here, if I can do a unboxing, is a Clement Tea Punch box. So let's check this sucker out. And I think you know what's going to be on the menu later. Nice little ooh la la unboxing, a little teaser. Should I move the knife fast or slow? Do you want slow? Very slow. All right. Let's check out. We have got, always useful, bar napkins come on. There you go, video. Got some bar napkins featuring the Clement logo. That is phenomenal. There is something shaky. A bunch of Swizzle sticks. Perfect for tea punches. I'm going to have to break a few of those out later. The very item I was looking for, if you're my friend on Facebook, and please be my friend on Facebook, it's fine. It's just occasional rants. Not anti-Semitic. I save those for the Facebook Live. My wife's Jewish. I can make that joke, right? But a few weeks ago, I was looking for a very nice bar mat to replace the junky restaurant supply one that I have. So I appreciate that, Richard. Ooh. The smell of fresh merch. We'll replace that in just a moment here. Then, of course, the Clement, The Art of Tea Punch, a pamphlet about tea punches. Tea punch. With a few variations and such. That's pretty cool. Tea punch melon, tea punch mango, tea punch passion. I think I know how to make those just by the name alone, but yeah, we'll have to get one of these started soon. I'm going to keep this open on the side. And then, holy crap. Oh, what's this? No. Paperwork. Oh, more of those pamphlets. Awesome. Oh, okay, flyers or table. Excuse me. Table stand things that you do. Me word good. And then, of course, some really, really nice glassware featuring the Clement logo. So super cool. Thank you. Thanks a ton, Richard. And we're going to be featuring and pouring some Clement cocktails throughout Iron Tiki Tender and TikiCon. Should all go well. So thanks a ton for that, Richard. I'm really excited to start playing around with some of those. I want to get this in. Haha, be gone, bar mat. I have no idea where to put this. It's my bar. All right. Hope I'm providing the entertainment value that you are expecting on a Thursday evening. So, now I've got my nice Clement bar mat. Make sure that is facing, because somebody gives you something, face it. Come on, be nice. Hopefully that'll... It's going to drive me crazy, so I'll put some heavy on it through the week. And then I put my nice mango wood board in front of that. Really cool. If you haven't seen these, go to IKEA. They have mango wood slabs, and I have kind of fallen in love with mango wood now. I'm might be looking up a full slab to make a bar top out of one of these days. Oh, it's getting in the way of my laptop if I do that. That's all right. There we are. Okay. So, as I was saying, tea punch. What is it? Why do you pronounce it so funny? Tea punch is just a classic Martinique drink. It feels like almost every exotic to us exotic locale, to some people home, has its own sort of very simple. Every rum producing place has some sort of simple drink. Brazil, you've got the caipirinha, also the bachita could be considered, and for corn and oil in Barbados, daiquiris in Cuba, and for Martinique, tea punch. Tea punch. I can't pronounce it normal anymore. Hey, Tiki Boss. So, how does one make a tea punch? Let's find out. Actually, this is kind of interesting. So, for the 100 tea punches I made in my time, it's been a few years since I've made one myself, so I need to read up again. I do remember talking with Ed Hamilton, and he had Ed Hamilton, if you don't know him, he does have his own line of rums out, but he also has a lot of experience importing like rum Nissan. So he brings in some very nice Martinique rums. So he taught me how he makes a tea punch, which involved just a small sliver of lime peel, no juice, and very, very little ice, just enough to get a little bit of that zest in there. The way we have it here from Clement is a tea punch glass, well, a glass, filled with ice, 2 pieces of lime squeezed into the glass with the lime dropped in, 2 bar spoons syrup de can, which is a Martinique-based cane syrup. I'm going to use my Rich Demerara. And swizzle for 5 to 10 seconds and add ice as desired, which I do. I like a little dilution. So I am not going to use the glassware that I just got, though it is quite lovely, because I haven't had a chance to wash it yet. And yet I'm going to put this unwashed swizzle stick in there. Que sera, sera. Life's short, right? Let's get a nice. Let's go use my classic double wax. So they're suggesting jam rum blanc. Do I have any jam rum blanc? I did get some nice, some really nice stuff. You know what I'm going to use? Oh, you know it's going to be nice. So Richard not only dropped off, this is one of those, like, it's good to be me sometimes, not only dropped off this wonderful tea punch kit, but also some Clement VSOP, which if you have not had is freaking incredible. This is something I'm excited about, Demaso. This is not Martinique, but it's really interesting. This is a Mexican rum from Michoacan, Michigan, the Michigan of Mexico. Michoacan. One of these days I'll learn. And of course, phenomenal Rum JMVO. So he happened to bring a few treats, of which one I am going to use right now for tea punch. Tea punch, when you're thinking about making simpler drinks like this, tea punch, caipirinha, we always, the way I feel is that in the U.S., we always want to class something up by putting in something more aged or more flavored, or has some sort of age denomination to it. But for simple drinks like this, it's simple drinks. This is, don't do something crazy. Do something, holy crap, 110 proof. It's going to be a good night. Use something simple. For simple drinks, use simple ingredients, because I think you're going to get the best, most authentic flavors out of those, instead of trying to fancy it all up. Right, so I'm just going to make it. Woo, quite the splash. I'm so excited to have a bottle of this in my house. It's been a while, Martinique. My lime. And I'm just going to go with the way they're making it. They suggest. So I'm going to cut the ends off of the lime. Now, I was trying to, I was going to pretty up this lime and show you guys what I like to do. Unfortunately, I recently found out my zester's gone missing. Call the cops. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to do the full zesty, pretty lime that I ever so love to do. But I don't think we'll do too bad here. So I'm so baffled because there's different ways you can do this. I actually will squeeze in the lime. But of course, I could just try them both. Should I try them both? Should I try both ways? Splash of this here. Whew, that might be too much. Usually with simple drinks like this, I like just a touch, but swizzle, 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 swizzle. You're supposed to say that when you're swizzling. It's an internationally known rule. Swizzle, 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 swizzle. So I'm actually going to want a little bit of ice with that. I like my drinks with a little dilution, especially when the base alcohol is 110 proof. Just a smidge, not even not a ton. So, ladies and gentlemen, tea punch. It's really good that way. Limey. Limey, and that great thing about Martinique rum, it just powers through. But always in a good way. There's some ingredients that power through in a bad way. like anise-based ingredients. Sometimes allspice can do that. But Martinique rum just always kind of sings, you know. But being as that is not going to be my last drink of the evening, I'm going to have a little bit of water here. How you folks doing out there in Tiki Land? It's funny, I was, just an observation, I was looking at some Danimals yogurt I picked up for my children. And on the side of the package, it said, "You could be on TV." And I thought, in this day and era, is that really a thing? It feels like I could be on TV right now. I'm live streaming into several people's houses. It's crazy. Being on TV just isn't as big a deal as it used to be. Unless you want to show up on basic cable or something and get into a lot of, you know, dentist waiting rooms and such. So let's try, now that I've gotten that kind of juicier tea punch, let's try the Ed Hamilton way, the way he used to do it. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look back here at my glassware and think, where's the right glass? There it is. So once again, one of the things I'd like to figure out that I never figured out as a professional bartender is how to do splashless pouring, other than just going really slow. So the way Ed Hamilton did a tea punch, at least for his demonstration for me, was the rum, a bar spoon of syrup, so just a little touch there. It's the true joy of home bartending is having to recap everything as you go. And then, let's find that one. Yeah, let's have a nice little oil to it. Just a little sliver of peel there. Too Sazerac for me. I have to squeeze the lime out. So just that, floating in a little bit. Give that a little swizzle. Swizzle, swizzle, swizzle. Swizzle, swizzle. Hi, I'm in your home saying swizzle, swizzle, swizzle. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Then again, just a smidge of ice. Just a smidge. Barely as much as the rum. Oh, okay, that's heaven. Woo! It's hella burn. But yeah, that's more my style. Rather than lime juicy, which at that point, shake it up, pour it in, and make yourself a Martinique daiquiri. But just here you can see just that one little piece of lime peel there. It's really all you need to give it a little change of flavor. Very, very nice. Yeah. Yeah, Sean, Mike, I know we all, it's so funny when it comes to drinks like this. And here's where I pontificate, which I do often. The drink world makes, at least the way things have been traditionally passed down, it's really hard for something to be the same as it was in 1934 as it is in 2018. If recipes have previously been gone through books, and through the books, there's fairly accurate ways in how to recreate the recipes. But for every bartender that read the books, a lot of them didn't have to reveal that to their customers, or they didn't read the books and would create a customer comes in and asks for a sidecar, and he'll figure out, oh, I'll just make it up. Customer loves it, says it didn't taste exactly right, but how did you make this one? Suddenly you've got 2 recipes for a sidecar, and it just varies and varies and varies as things move on through oral tradition and through bar backs turned to bar staff that were trained by a bartender that was making it up the whole time. Even if you had a video from back in the day of a drink being created, the ingredients are going to be different. The availability is going to be different. Even the way, the way jiggers were measured back in that day were different. It is, excuse me. It is very, very easy for recipes to divulge and to diversify. The great thing is with a tea punch, it's so simple. You can't get it that wrong. Same with things like a daiquiri. But I find often with drinks, especially with like the complex tiki drinks, not everything works exactly the way it used to. We'll never taste exactly the way a zombie tasted when it was first served by John Beachcomber. We'll come close. It's this is not the greatest drink in the world. This is just a tribute. We get a pretty tasty tribute out of it, though. Oh yeah, Brenda, I hadn't heard of this track. Beat shoots and leaves. Oh, that's funny. I haven't read that book either. I've heard good things about it. It's about grammar. That's exciting. Everyone loves reading about grammar. So that is my discussion on tea punch and a little bit of pontification on recipes and how they change and vary throughout the years. I also wanted to play around with something we had talked about in the bar group this week, and that was bananas. So, bananas and the making of a banana daiquiri. And now, for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to do silly things with bananas. Woo! Banana glasses. Oh, hold on. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Huh? It's for you. The rare circle of bananas. Hey, Tony. Tony, I've got things figured out. Honorariums and everything. We'll hook up on Facebook Messenger, and I would love to get you out here. Out here to TikiCon, Portland, all that stuff. You can't have this shirt. I'm wearing it right now. In Facebook, in case you're wondering, Tiki Tony's here on Instagram. Tiki Tony, if you don't know him, you should know him. He is a pretty awesome dude. I met him ages and ages ago in the Tiki scene, actually through Tiki Central. And it's been such a pleasure to watch him go from an arts student to seeing a packed booth at Tiki Oasis where just like the line never stopped. And hoping to get him here for a symposium at TikiCon. Also, can I recommend bananas? Not only delicious, nutritious, but wonderful for gesturing. Possibly a thing longer. So, bananas. Oh, that's right. This is why I really wanted bananas. Somehow on YouTube, I ended up, of course, like I do, going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole. Somehow came into the career of Chris Elliott. Chris Elliott, if you didn't know him from Get a Life and Something About Mary, he also was a writer and actor on Letterman. And he used to do this amazing, it's freaking amazing. He came on as Marlon Brando and talked like this for about 10 minutes on Letterman. It was hilarious. But then he would put a stack of bananas on the floor and dance around them. Bananas. Bananas. Actually, that's all. You don't even have to YouTube it, but I thought it was pretty hilarious. So we're talking about bananas. Banana daiquiri. Banana daiquiri is not something I would think of as a traditional tiki drink. It's not something that you're going to find on classic menus, but it is a drink that is gaining in popularity. Banana liqueur for many, many years was shit. Just be honest. There is a molecule that mimics banana flavor. It's actually it's an ethyl molecule that comes out during the distillation process. This is why sometimes you can get whiskeys that have a little taste of banana or rums that have a little banana flavor to it. It's one of the esters that comes out during the distillation process. So some of these esters are packed away, shipped off to a flavor warehouse, and sold as banana flavoring, which is where you get awful things like creme de banana and 99 bananas and those kind of liqueurs, which are essentially artificial banana flavor and neutral grain spirit. And let me tell you, if you have ever spent a night barfing up bananas, as a dear friend of mine did, you will never taste banana the same. So, banana daiquiri, how are we going to do this? So I got a few recipes. They were nice. They looked interesting. But I think the right way to do this is unfortunately not going to be mixed up. So we're going to try to do something that's a little off the cuff, a little mixy-matchy. We're going to do something nice here. So when I was talking about these cracked bananas, banana liqueurs, finally someone came out with an excellent one, and that is Giffard Banana de Brazil. This is, to quote a dear friend of mine, this is the tits. It's the only way that I've ever tasted banana liqueur that actually made me feel good about what I was drinking. And the cap has fallen off. The cap has fallen off. Oh, no. So, banana daiquiri. I have got fresh bananas. I've got banana de Brazil. Let's think about this. So, banana daiquiri. I'm probably going to downplay the lime flavor. So, I'm going to go with a classic daiquiri recipe. But I think what we're going to do, so the way I like to make daiquiris is usually 1.5, 3/4 half. It's 1.5 rum, 3/4 lime, half simple or bar syrup. I think in this case, what I'm going to do is actually up the rum and keep the lime and the sugar the same. No, I could replace the sugar with a banana. There we go. It might be a little dry, so let's add 1/4 sugar there. Yeah, this is how I'm going through and remaking stuff. Holy jab! The jab! Ah! Awesome. Yeah, that's the magic of the internet. It's finding people. They're seeing people you haven't seen in a long time. So I'm going to throw in a 1/2 ounce of the creme de banana. Where's my Demosoto? I'm actually going to use Martinique because I just think that'll go deliciously. Yes. I agree with me on this one. So 1.5. Three-quarter lime juice. And just a smidge. We already got the banana sweetening it up quite a bit, so just a 1/4 ounce of rich demerara. Oh, Myron Gainsborough. What? You get no response? Can I click news then? Oh. Huh. Sorry, man. I didn't see what you're trying to say. I try to keep an eye on everything and try to respond where I can. So, does that pass the sniff test? It smells pretty goddamn delicious. Let's mix it and find out. Mixing solely with crushed ice tonight, so my shakes have got to be a little gentle. Just a little. It smells pretty damn nice. Here's the thing with banana. I don't really think I want to drink something that is pure banana flavor. Banana as an accent, or especially as a base note. People don't often think about bananas. Bananas are sweet, but they have that kind of earthy, it's hard to describe. Taste of plantain, and you get this, it is plain, earthy, and it's like, I would consider like a lightly round or a flat sweet flavor. Sweet can be, either spiky, where it's just like, ooh, sweet, or it can be cloying, where it stays on the tongue. But plantain sweet is just more of like a flat, rounded sweet that makes a great base for all sorts of other flavors. That looks right, Javos. So, banana daiquiri. Let's check that out. shit. That is really good. Okay, so that was 1.5 ounces of Damaso, or find a really nice Martinique. It's 110 proof. This the banana is speaking through it well, but it doesn't come out and say like banana. It's like banana, the gentle caress of banana along your palate. So then a 1/2 ounce, 3/4 lime, and then a 1/2 ounce of, or a 1/4 ounce of rich demerara. It is quite delicious. I would highly recommend it. And if you wanted, you could do yourself a silly little garnish. Unfortunately, I was going to do a banana dolphin, but I found out we're out of cloves. Ha! This is the problem with running a video live stream out of my home where I am, as opposed to a professional bar, because I am just never prepared with all my stuff. So let's pretend that this has some cloves in it, and I totally cut it right here. What's going on, Chad? Is that Chad? Is it Chad, or is it an official bootlegger account run by a social media manager, which no places really have? Ooh. Oh, in case you're wondering, just joining in, this is a banana daiquiri, 1.5 Damaso 110 proof, 1/2 ounce of the Giffard Brazil de Banana, 3/4 lime, and 1/4 ounce rich dem, and it is pretty darn nice. Cheers. Anybody drinking at home? Anybody drinking along with the home game here? Feel free to share what you're drinking. I have to put the drinks aside for my wife to enjoy later. Bananas! And I said, what I mentioned was that I was going to talk about tiki mugs. What I didn't mention is that was made up because I'm going to talk about rum. So I'm not going to pretend to be the world's greatest rum expert. I will tell you I have probably tasted over 1,000 different rums and different varietals in my life. However, some of them were often after the first 4 or a few cocktails and then into the rum. Sorry, Tiki Monster. That you can still smell. You can just like you can just little aerate it on the tongue to enjoy. Nathan, vodka and Hawaiian punch sounds delicious. I'll pull up a straw. Ooh. Anyway, I'm talking about rum because I have a lot of nifty little rums to taste now. Oh, crap. Nothing worse than finding a crack in the glassware. I wouldn't serve it to you, but since I'm the only one drinking it, I'll deal. So let me share with you. Oh, that might be my only flat glass. Let me share with you a little bit about how I. Oh, nice! I like the banana and the banana and cinnamon. Oh, you got yourself a Bananas Foster there, especially since it's on fire with the scotch. Really interesting, Javos. Hey, Javos, go to bgreynolds.com/recipes. I've got a, or you can just post on Instagram, hashtag bgreynolds, hashtag bgrmarchrecipes. I've got a contest going. I would love to see that in the contest, just for content and trying to get some awesome recipes and see what you guys got for me to put on my Instagram feed because I'm lazy. But no, I'm going to be sending out a pack of syrups and mugs and all sorts of fun stuff. So, tasting rum. A lot of what I see these days is glassware trying to be sold that's super specialty glassware that's like, oh, it's done this way for this spirit and this way for another spirit and that way for a different spirit and da-da-da, and it just doesn't always sound the greatest. It's a good way to sell glassware and make you feel like you're drinking something high-end, but for God's sakes, this is rum. Rum comes from the streets, the hard streets. Not really the hard streets, but more like the back end of the molasses factory. Rum is okay with something a little more simple. Also, because rum tends to be higher ester content, than most of the more refined spirits, you don't want to I have found the worst thing that you can do is have it channel and hit right up your nose. In fact, I don't really recommend that for most spirits. If you've ever drank champagne out of a champagne flute, I freaking hate it because it just tacks the nose. For a saucer, it opens it up. It lets it breathe. It lets the scent come up into the air as opposed to just like going right up your nose. I find the same way about glassware. I like to use just plain, flat rocks glass. Actually learned this from Martin Kate many years ago. It's simple. It allows all the flavor to flatten out. There's a lot of surface area for oxygenation and for all the other bro science stuff I'm going to make up. But in order to taste a nice rum, let's make a... Ooh. What should we taste here? Let's taste this Michoacan. Michoacan? What Michoacan about? Can anybody correct my pronunciation on Michoacan? I would really love to respect the culture by pronouncing their freaking name right. Excuse me. Getting over a little chest cold. I think finishing those tea punches I made earlier will help with that. So tasting. Step 1, glass. Step 2, rum. This is Gustoso Aguardiente from Family Pacheco. An artisanal rum, 100% distilled cane rum. Fecha 4/21/17. Nice. Aprobado por, I don't know what that means. 8 proof, Hecho en Michoacan. Really interesting. From what I understand, they actually have their cane is actually produced there, so this isn't using a like an imported cane or imported distillate. Yeah, okay, I'll read. Gustoso Aguardiente is Charanda, produced from 100% sugar cane grown in the highlands of Michoacan, Mexico. Charanda is a denomination. Charanda, so learning time, is a denomination of origin specific to Uruapan, Michoacan. High Colleen. The region is composed of vibrantly red and mineral-rich soil at an elevation of 1620 meters, providing the ideal terroir for cultivation of sugarcane used to produce gustoso. I love the use of French terms on Mexican rum. Uruapan is home to the Pacheco family, who have been producing this charanda since 1907. That's really interesting. I haven't actually studied much on charanda. It makes me want to pick up a book, by which I mean the internet. And then I get distracted by Facebook and Imager for about 2 or 3 hours before I get back to what I was going. And then I learned nothing because there was a funny dog or 20. Cat pictures, man. Ruined my life. So, step 1, get glass. Step 2, get rum. Step 3, learn about rum. Pour rum. So here's a little something, what I like to do. So rum, like I said, has high ester content. Esters like to just, oxygen, if you remember from fake science class, because that's what I'm quoting, oxygen tends to be very reactive. So it takes things, and as it's swirling about, it'll actually grab molecules from the surface of the rum, that's these esters that are coming out, the compounds, and start to swirl about in the air. That's where we get these things, this thing called scent. So what I'm doing here is I put my hand over the glass to kind of trap it and let it get all up in there. Just get a big old gaseous love fest there. Just let it aerate. Warm it in the hand a little bit. Swirl it around. Oh, Ryan Baker. Yes. Oh, dude, Saturn is a delicious drink. Aren't you? You're around the Saturn room or somewhere in the Midwest? I hope they make a good Saturn. I lived in Tulsa for about 3 months of my life. I am very sad that I missed the Saturn room for that time. There was a nice little coffee shop. I think it was called Gypsy or something. And then a weird goth bar. That was a whole other story. Anyway, we're tasting rum. I've got it in the glass. Okay, see, geez. Tiki Cat? Yeah. Rum's in the glass. It's been off-gassing a little bit. And I'm going to open it. And there we go. It's nice. It's open. So it's not attacking me, but it's definitely coming up and it's present. What does it smell like? Rummy. A touch rummy. I'm not going to trust my nose too much given this whole chest cold thing. But it's a very nice, elegant scent. Has it's very silky and smooth. It does not have a high attack. It doesn't like hit you like booze. It's very genteel, very nice. So now that I got the nose going, now let's get the mouth started. So the mouth goes in two phases. You always sip something at least twice. Once to get the tiniest amount, swish it around your palate, swish it around your gum, swish it around your tongue. Just take a few seconds to like coat your mouth in it. So your mouth is the rum, and it washes away whatever you were tasting prior. And the second is to actually really get a taste. And here's something where you don't want to taste rum just like your, cruising cat pictures on the internet. Be mindful when you're with the rum. I've studied mindfulness over the past few years, and it's something about being present. And I find when you're tasting, being present, not thinking about your outside worries, not thinking about outside cares, but just enjoying, really experiencing the spirit is the best way to taste. Or just put it in a party mug and go, woo! So I've got a little bit of the nose in here. Swirl that around the gums. It's a lot better than scope. So let that fester for a moment. And then sip. Sip to enjoy. Let it sit on the tongue. Let it fall over the palate. Don't, give it a second or two to swirl in before you swallow. You feel that high acidity, getting some getting the saliva going, making you hungry, making you nice. That is a very, very elegant and smooth rum that actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a little lower proof. Well, I mean, it's 80 proof, and they're pretty tight about that. Very, very nice, a little leathery, which is in a good way, a very good thing. It does have that nice rummy sweetness to it, but without feeling like an artificial product. God damn. The texture on this is just incredible. I remember a conversation of Solera. Does it lose its aroma as it sits in the bottle? Not particularly. I mean, if you have it exposed to sunlight, yeah, weird things are going to happen. But for the most part, it's going to sit just fine in a bottle. Usually for at least a decade or so. I haven't tasted that much in the way of multi-decade-old rum. Not too much. No, what am I thinking about? Yeah, of course. Rum lasts. Good rum. But this has just a beautiful texture. Again, this is the Gustoso Aguardiente. Very, very nice. I've got my glass here where I'm able to get my nose in, get a little sniff while you're getting your a taste on the tongue. Let it sit on the tongue. Let it go over the gums. Really get it. This is exquisite to say the least. It is not highly complex, but I do get notes of, you get almost that like figgy, raisiny, sherry bit to it. It doesn't mention where it was aged or in what kind of barrels it was aged. But I'm sure I could get that information out of Richard. Fabiano, it is 6:53 p.m. Pacific. Yeah. Oh, hey, Brian. B-Rex, maker of the Iron Tiki Tender 2018 print. Jeff Bezos. Tiki Monster, would I aerate it across my tongue like wine? I would never do that with wine. No, what I do is, you imbibe in, sit it on the tongue, unfold the tongue, and let it just wash over. I learned that from the Bar 5 Day, where we tasted over 160 different spirits in under 5 days. Holy crap, that was an interesting class, and I remember almost none of it now. It was, except for we got a chance to taste Highland Park White Dog. Amazing experience. It's like, why do they age this? It's delicious. But so be it. It was a damn good time. Bar 5 Day is a 5-day program in New York. It's very prestigious, except they let me in. And you taste over, it was taught by Dale DeGroff, Dave Wondrich, Doug Frost, Andy Seymour, and Steve Olson. And it was just one of the most incredible experiences of my life. They actually had it before the first Manhattan Cocktail Classic, and that was a blast. I got to hang out with make some really good friends. Have one unfortunately over drunken night, but that's life. It happens every once in a while. So I'm going to wrap things up here at the BG Reynolds Tiki Bar. We made some tea punch. We made a delicious banana daiquiri. Would I up the banana? Maybe a smidge. A smidge would be good. Depends on the customer's taste, really. If they like something a little sweeter, maybe up the banana. But keeping, I think, at that half ounce, beautiful, because it wasn't a banana drink. It was a really, really tasty, well-balanced cocktail. Fabiano, I am not alone. I've actually got one of my best customers for mocktails. My 7-year-old playing Minecraft. Yeah, he's in the other room. My wife upstairs, just waiting for me to end this broadcast so that I can give her the cocktails I've been making. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Colleen, I'll try and post this up. It's really, really good. You like this recipe. It's, like I say, I like banana, but without it just being one-note flavor banana. It's nice, it's complex, it's a great daiquiri. Banana, I think, works really well with Martinique rum as well. It just has that higher ester count that makes, I don't know, it just tastes a lot better than if you were to make it with like a plain, a very plain Puerto Rican or Cuban rum. And that's just my humble opinion. So, but anyhow, again, I wanted to push, for those of you that are out there, Iron Tiki Tender. I do have the entry form up. I am only telling people watching this live stream about it. If you want to be considered to be a finalist, we have got the entry form at irontikitender.com/entry. And you can sign up. We'll be sending out some, the official entry starts next week, and then we'll be sending out some challenges and selecting some finalists from that. Entry will be completed April 1st or 2nd. We'll pick the day. Really excited for Iron Tiki Tender. Hope you all can check it out. We are going to be live streaming it as well, so long as I can get somebody with a camera to log into my account. It's going to be a really good time, and I'm really looking forward to it. Am I looking forward to the next few months of organizing it? Actually, yeah, I like being in the maelstrom of madness. Maybe a few banana daiquiris will help me get through that the madness. We talked a little bit about tea punch. I hope you're able to enjoy a tea punch. Tonight, recommend that Damisol is just freaking delicious sauce. I couldn't make a tea punch with something fancier than that. I just really love the kind of that street quality of spirit. If I were making a Caprina, I love Novo Fogo. I'm not going to make it with Novo Fogo. I'm going to make it with something a little lower end. We talked about, I told you about Tack and Tiki mugs. Again, if you're going to go for tasting rum, highly recommend just a plain rocks glass. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just a plain rocks glass. Hopefully yours, though, won't have a chip out of the side. Don't forget to cover the rum. Let it toast in there a little bit. Open it up. Get the nose while you're tasting. Splash it on the tongue and just let it slide. So that is going to be the end of the broadcast for this evening. I want to thank you all so much for joining me live at the BG Reynolds Tiki Bar. And wait, hold on. My producer is still telling me there's a minute and a half left. So I am going to return to a theme from earlier. Instagram can't see this. Bananas! And I'm just going to dance for 2 minutes like this. While it clicks down to 7 p.m. Bananas, bananas, bananas. Did you know kids don't like the mushy part of the banana, but I think they make the best. If you're doing like a frozen banana slushy drink, I think they make them the best. You just get the sweetness going. And the sweetness And a more slushier drink is just going to be a little more dilute. So you actually want more intense flavors in that slushiness. It's like if you've ever poured Hawaiian ice, don't pour too much of that syrup. It is very, very, very potent. Also, do not use shaved ice syrups for your cocktails because your guests will just be chugging straight high fructose corn syrup. I think that stuff is even a little worse, doubled down, particularly with artificial flavor. So, Instagram, you're giving me the 10-second warning. Thank you so much for joining me, BJ Reynolds Tiki Bar Live. I'll see you at Iron Tiki Tinder. I'll see you at TikiCon, and I'll see you next week on BJ Reynolds Tiki Bar Live. Boom! Shakalaka. Okay, that was just for Instagram. You guys are cool. But also click. Bye. Click. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.